There was blood everywhere. It dripped from the banisters and splashed across the deck floor, pooling near the door to the captain's quarters, where my trusty hounds waited with their tails tucked between their legs. They were both covered in bloody chicken feathers. Saul looked more innocent than Corinne, but I had a feeling that was only because he didn't know any better. What he lacked in brains he made up for in loyalty. This little mishap wasn't entirely their fault anyway. Kate Evans and Alex Grayson, my two least favorite reapers, lounged against the railing on the far side of the deck. Alex was taller by half a foot, but Kate was the one who emanated confidence, the sort that always seemed to beg or threaten a double-dog dare. She shook her head, tossing her bangs back, and crooked her finger, motioning Alex to tilt her head down so she could whisper in her ear. Alex grinned and covered her mouth with her fingertips as I approached. Kate tossed her bangs back again. It was a painfully juvenile gesture that I really couldn't stand. "Your ex-boyfriend stopped by for a visit, but the mutts got hungry," she said, sending Alex into a fit of roaring laughter. Kate had not been thrilled when I was announced as the new captain of the Posy Unit. Not that anyone had been particularly thrilled, but she seemed to take it the worst. She had been on the unit the longest, and I think she had honestly thought that the promotion was in the bag for her. She very well may have deserved it, but it wasn't my problem. I didn't say a word. Instead, I carefully made my way to the closet beside mine and Josie's quarters and fetched a mop and bucket. The culprits were still snickering when I returned, until I thrust the mop in Kate's hands and shoved the bucket into Alex's gut, drawing a satisfying grunt out of her. Have fun, kids. If you're lucky, there might be some souls left to harvest when you're done. Kate scrunched up her face, tossing back her long, side-swept bangs again. You won't clear that list of souls if you keep us here. Josie Galla and Kevin Krause, my roommates and fellow unit members, laughed behind me. I hadn't heard them come on board. They froze suddenly and looked around the ship, taking in the remains of the chicken that Kate and Alex had set loose for the hounds to massacre. Josie narrowed her gaze. Her upper lip curled back. What the hell happened here? A little practical joke, but it's being taken care of. Think you can handle a little extra workload today? I raised an eyebrow. Oh, if it means they have to clean up this disaster, then absolutely. She folded her arms. Kate huffed. I turned back to face her and Alex. Better shake a leg, ladies. I'll be back to check on you around noon. We left them scowling on the deck of the ship and took the ramp back down to the dock, where the last member of the team, Arden Faraji, stood waiting with his hands folded behind his back. Arden was a rarity among the Reapers, in more ways than one. For starters, he was black. His skin was such a dark hue that it had blue highlights, streaking over his shaved head and across his high cheekbones. I think the reason Grimm made most Reapers white was because his mythology originated in Europe, but somewhere along the way he decided having Reapers of different flavors could be beneficial to the harvesting process. So there's Jenny Fang, another roommate of mine and Grimm's new second-in-command, who's Asian, Santos Consuelo, the Latino captain of the Lost Souls unit, Arden Faraji, a.k.a. the African Posy, and Arden's sailing partner, Asha Deepika, who's Indian. I wasn't sure if Arden and Asha were more involved than just being sailing partners, and I wasn't about to ask. Arden hadn't said 5 words to me since I'd joined the Posy unit. He'd wait for his assignments, give me a nod, and coin off to his first harvest site, just like that, every morning. He wasn't rude or anything, but he wasn't exactly trying to make new friends either. He had a solemn, sorrowful attitude about him, but it was hardly surprising. The Posy unit hadn't been Arden's first team. He'd gotten his start on the Mother Goose unit, collecting the numerous child souls that died from malnutrition and starvation in sub-Sahara Africa. While other members of the Mother Goose unit were collecting child souls that had some semblance of a decent life, the child souls Arden collected spent most of their short lives waiting for his arrival. That sort of work takes a toll on one's psyche, but he seemed to handle himself well, as far as I could tell anyway.